In this video, I will explain how to find an exponential function given 2 points. So an exponential function is written in the following form: y equals a times b to the power of x. So I have a couple examples for us to work through here. Let's check out the first one. We have the points 2, 4, and 5, 32. So we want to figure out what exponential function goes through these 2 points. So the way that we can do this is we can use a cool trick where let's pick the point that has the larger x value. So we can see this point right here, 2, 4, it has an x value of 2, and this coordinate pair has an x value of 5. So pick the one with the larger one, that would be 5. And we're just going to plug in these values, this x and y value, into this equation right here for the exponential function. So we'll write 32 equals a times b to the power of x. X is 5. And then what we can do is we can write the coordinate pair with the lower x value, so this one right here, directly underneath it. So we can write 4, we'll fill in a 4 for y, is equal to a times b to the power of x. X is 2. Okay, and now the next step is we can divide these terms. So 32 divided by 4, that's 8. On this right-hand side, we have a divided by a, so that cancels out. These a's are gone. Now we have b to the 5th over b squared. So if we remember our rules for exponents, when we have some number raised to a power divided by the exact same number raised to another power, we can just do the exponent in the numerator minus the exponent in the denominator. So we get b to the 5th minus 2, or in other words, b cubed. And now we just need to solve for b. So the way that we do that is we can take this whole expression right here and raise it to the power of 1/3. Because 3 times 1/3 will be 1, so that will leave us with just b to the 1st, or just b. And then when we take this side to the 1/3, 8 to the 1/3, or the cube root of 8, that's 2. If you don't know that off the top of your head, you can just think what number cubed gets us to 8. So 2 cubed is 8. Or if it turns out to be some number that doesn't have an exact cube root, then you could use a calculator to figure that out. But in this case, we luck out, and b is just equal to 2, a nice integer. So now that we have b, what we can do is we can rewrite this y equals a b to the x. And we can use either of these coordinate points, so either 2, 4 or 5, 32, just plug it in for x and y, and plug in the value 2 for b. So let's choose the coordinates 2, 4. So we'll plug in a 2 for x and a 4 for y. So let's do that. 4 is equal to a, we found that b is equal to 2, and x, we said we're going to plug in this x value right here, squared. So we get 4 is equal to a times 2 squared, that's 4. So a times 4. Now to solve for a, we just need to divide both sides by 4. So we are left with a is equal to 1. So now that we know a and b, we can write the final answer. Y is equal to 1 times 2 to the power of x. Or we could just simplify that and write y equals 2 to the power of x. So this is the exponential function that goes through the points 2, 4 and 5, 32. Let's check out our second example. We want to find the exponential function that goes through the points 6, 9, and 8, 81. So we'll use the exact same process that we did in the first example. Let's pick the coordinate with the larger x value. So this one has the larger x value of 8, and we'll just go ahead and plug these x and y values into y equals a times b to the x. So we get, so the y is 81 equals a times b, and x is 8. So we wrote the first one, and now we're just going to plug in the other coordinate pair, 6, 9, into the exact same equation. So we get 9 equals a times b to the x in this case is a 6. And we'll use the same process where we can just divide these two expressions. So 81 divided by 9, that's 9, equals, the a's cancel out once again, and we can use the law of exponents again that tells us we can do b to the 8 minus 6, so that's b squared. b squared. So b squared is equal to 9. So in order to get b, we can take the square root of both sides. And 9, the square root of 9 is 3. And over here we'll just be left with b. So now that we have b, we can go ahead and rewrite this y equals a times b to the x. And we can just plug in either of these coordinates into y and x so that we can solve for a. So let's choose, we'll just use this first coordinate, 6, 9. So we'll put in a 9 for y is equal to a times b we found was 3 to the power of x. X would be 6 in this case. So now we have 9 is equal to a times 3 to the power of x. So you could either use a calculator or you could use some mental math. Let's see if we think 3 squared is 9. 3 to the third is 27. 3 to the fourth is 81. 3 to the fifth, that will be 81 times 3. That is 243. And 3 to the sixth, that would be 243 times 3. That's 729. So again, if you can't do this off the top of your head, just use a calculator. So 3 to the sixth is 729. So we have a times 729. And to solve for a, we'll just divide both sides by 729. 9 divided by 729. How many times does 9 go into 729? You might need a calculator for that one. You could do 1 divided by 81. And over here, the 729s cancel out. So a is equal to 1 divided by 81. So we can write our final answer as y equals 1 over 81 times 3 to the x. And that is the exponential function that goes through the points 6, 9 and 8, 81. Thanks for watching, guys.